The first question is, what made you guys decide to do the Christmas album in whole for the first time in your career?
Well, our record label just brought it up. They said, would you guys be interested in doing it? And we said, well, we'd never done one, and we hadn't really thought of it. You usually think of it during Christmas when it's too late. So they brought it up to us in the spring or something. We're like, yeah, and we thought, well, we don't want to do a bunch of standards and stuff, and I don't know. We were really kind of apprehensive about it. And we said, well, our producer Julian put some songs together, and we started looking around at, who's done Christmas songs beyond just, covering standards.
Right.
So so we started looking at groups that we liked, Slade and whoever, T-Rex or the Beatles or whatever. And we just picked out a bunch of songs of, people we liked. Well, Slade was one of them. Roy Wood, from The Move, was one of his songs. That kind of the Kinks, and we did a few, I think 3 or 4 of them we wrote ourselves for this record. The only real standard is
Silent Night. Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Nilsson song. The Nilsson song is titled "Remember Christmas." If you didn't know that, I don't know that it really has anything to do with Christmas, but it's one of my favorite songs of all time in the first place. It's like, oh yeah, remember Christmas, because he doesn't say that in the song. So yeah, that came out great. We were really pleasantly surprised. We started doing the record, and it's like, man, this thing, it came out really better than we thought it was going to, and it's real heavy, and it's, I think, different than most Christmas albums.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, that was, you said a pleasant surprise, and that's exactly how I feel about it, because you hear, one of your favorite bands, and I put you in that camp. I love Cheap Trick so much, but one of your favorite bands go do a Christmas album, and there's a furrow brow moment that I think everybody has, like, okay. And then when I saw the track list,
they're not all good. I'll say that. Yeah, there's a lot of groups that I really love that have done covers of songs, and it's like I can't wait to hear. I'm not going to name any names. It's like, that is not good.
Well, then
if you're going to do a cover, you have to at least try to do it better than the original, or maybe quite a bit different, or just make it. But we just kind of do what we do to them anyway. I think the thing that really was pretty dramatic was the Kinks one. It doesn't sound anything like the Kinks. It's like, it's real fast, and it's got a million chord changes, and it just didn't have, it's got the Kinks sensibility, and it's got these funny lyrics, and it's, Ray is singing it, of course, but it didn't sound anything like what the Kinks, how we look at the Kinks, and so we thought, yeah, let's cut this thing down a bit, slow it down a bit, and make it turned into sounding like The Who doing the Kinks.
which is awesome.
Which is a great combo to me.
Right. Well, now that's what I loved about it. I mean,
to me, it's about as good as it gets.
Yeah, having so many just rock and roll covers, because it is different. I mean, these are the songs that we play here at FBK a lot during Christmas, because we like everybody. Well, not say like everybody. Some people love the traditional Christmas songs. My wife being one of them, but we sort of try to get
my family too. But
yeah,
but after a couple of weeks, because you can't take it anymore.
So we play a lot of these songs. That's what I was so happy to hear that you guys doing it. Although you did say, there is one traditional one on here with Silent Night. Was there any specific reason why you landed on that one?
No, not really. It just was an idea that let's do a real dark version of that.
Yeah.
And it's, because it's a pretty dark sounding song. It's beautiful, really. We just did it a little different. It's a real moody, dark sound to it. It's like, so that's really no real reason why we did that. It's just like one of the ones where it wasn't, whatever, Jingle Bells or something like, oh God, who can take it anymore? I don't know that you could do a good version of that. Maybe.
Now, as far as the originals, I feel like that's the dream, to write a Christmas classic, and then if you want to, you can retire. Like there are plenty of artists who, probably. I mean, that was the thing about the lead singer of Slade. They had all these great songs, although none of them were huge hits over here, other than Quiet Riot taking the covers.
Slade, that's right.
Yeah, but there was a quote, and somebody asked him about Merry Christmas, and he's like, you know what? I don't ever have to write another song in my life. because I get paid every year because of that song. And I feel like that's the dream. So when you're trying to write these Christmas songs, like, I don't know, do you try to go for the ultimate classic to sustain on forever, or do you just sort of have fun with it?
Well, both things in a way, but that's really for everything we do. We are always looking to do something, it's not just for Christmas. And what is it about? Is it religious? Is it about, like the Kinks song where it's just a complete piss take of Christmas and, beating up Santa Claus and, that sort of whatever the content is. I don't remember exactly, but it's really, it's hard to say. We never were good at and never tried to figure out what people really wanted to hear. It's just stuff that we like ourselves. Like, oh yeah, we'll come up with something and something like, that's really great. Let's go ahead with that. I've got this idea. Like, okay, next. What else you got? Okay, next. Okay, now wait a second. That's really good. So we're always trying to inspire each other to work on songs to get the best thing possible. However that works out. There's really no formula. It's just a lot of times you'll have something and they go, that bridge, that needs a better bridge. I've got this idea and I put that in there. Like, okay, that's great. That sort of thing.
Now, as far as these songs though, I mean, are there any stories behind these new originals?
Nope.
No. Christmas songs. Let's go.
Christmas.
Yeah.
I mean, they are Christmas songs. Yes, that's true. So that was the one, parameter.
Right.
So it wasn't like Harry Nilsson where he just titles the thing "Remember Christmas," but it has nothing to do with Christmas. I'm not sure it has nothing to do with Christmas. Maybe it does. And I got to listen to the lyrics again. I never thought it did. I didn't ever realize that was the actual title.
Oh, that's funny. That's a great song.
But anyway.
Yeah. I mean, hell, anything Nilsson did was a great song. Guy wrote great songs in his sleep. So yeah.
Yeah, I worked with him once. I was in a session with him in Los Angeles. So that was pretty nuts. I don't know how the guy could have kept up the pace, but he, I guess he in the end didn't. But wow. I mean,
there was
some hardcore partying going on, and goes, wow, geez, these guys are serious.
But man, just one amazing melody after another, and lyrics to be with it.
The tone of his voice, just that alone, even the sound. Yeah. He was great. It's really a shame what happened, that he had to just throw it all away like that. Right. But there you go.
Yeah. Well, back on you guys. You had done one Christmas song before, right? "I Want You for Christmas," which had been
yes. Was that? I don't remember. Was that a takeoff of one of our own songs? We did that. I don't remember. We kind of just did a variation of one of our songs. Yeah, "Come On Christmas" or something. Mm-hmm. I don't remember anymore.
When you've got that long of a catalog,
it's not on this record, right?
No, it's
what song you're?
No, it's not on this record. That's what I kind of wondered. Is was there ever any conversation about like, hey, we already have a Christmas song, we could just re-record that and put it on here? But I guess that was not even part of the.
I don't think we thought it was that great. We didn't put very much thought into it. I think that was one we just kind of. I don't really remember.
Yeah.
But we just did it fast. Like, okay, yeah, now that's a Christmas song. Like, well, okay, I guess so. But no, we thought, and once we got into this thing, and we were hearing, we just, one thing led to another, and we put together a few of our own songs, and they're on there too.
And voila, there you
go. Hopefully they do better than the other people's songs, but we're not counting on it. Let's put it there. But yeah, you're right. The one good thing is that we only have to. We'll do another Christmas album 40 years from now, so this will last us for a while.
There you go. Perfect. Now, were you doing this record the same time that you were doing the last record? Because to be so close in release, I was guessing you were actually, this is the same studio sessions, maybe?
No, it wasn't the same sessions, but it was right after we finished.
All right.
Close to it. We weren't still, we didn't just kind of keep going. We came back. We did it fast. Well, it's certainly faster if, other people have written most of the other songs. If you have to write them all, that's a different story.
Right.
But once we got in there, it's like, okay, this is done. And like, yeah, let's do this to this, and we did that song. What's the song that the "Please Come Home for Christmas"? The Eagles are just most known for it. So we didn't do their version either. I mean, it's not. They didn't write it either. Somebody else. It's like an old blues thing, but which we didn't really realize. I'd never heard the original, and we thought, yeah, the Eagles one. Let's do that. But we did a real kind of our version of a Chicago blues song, and we kind of simplified it too. There was like a lot. It seemed like there was more in there than needed to be. We made it simpler and bluesier, and it really came quite close to the original.
That's
the
cool.
Guy that originally wrote it, which was really just by fluke. We had no idea. We never heard that. Ours is a bit heavier, but we're just it's just more. It sounds more like us, but it's very bluesy. Our version. I think it came out great too. So
being heavier. I mean, you guys actually seem like you have been rocking a bit harder or bigger on these last couple records, and this one included. And I don't know if that's just me. It just seems like that. Have you noticed that yourself, or is the sound bigger and heavier than maybe it used to be?
I don't think so, because that's how we started out. Now, a lot of, we've gone through a lot of different producers through the years, and a lot of times we'd always be in a battle with the producer. They were trying to kind of straighten us out and make it sound, in their minds, more commercial, whatever that is. I'll make that more radio friendly, or
right.
That's too heavy, or that's a bit scary, or that's scary, whatever. So we were always battling with people. That they were always kind of trying to straighten us out a little bit, make it a little more commercial sounding. Yeah. And that's not the way the producer we've been using recently, Julian Raymond, he's really pretty much become almost a fifth member. He's really, he understands us from the beginning. Since he's not really in the band, he can see what he's more objective about what, our stuff. So I think he just brings out that in us, like, yeah, you can do, he encourages us to do what we naturally would do, which is to make stuff really heavy.
Yeah, well, I'm enjoying it quite a bit. It's cool to hear you guys go for it. I'll turn my attention to Rock Your Speech, which I know is a pretty important thing and something that keeps your attention these days. I'd love for you to tell me about that too, because I'm sure a lot of people aren't familiar with that yet. So what is it, and how are you involved with it, and the why?
Well, the why is our now 10-year-old son is on the autism spectrum, and he didn't speak at all until he was 5 years old. Anyway, we really started Rock Your Speech for him, just really writing songs that were rock and roll, rock songs, but with really simple lyric content, so he could easily follow along. That was the thing with music. He couldn't really, he loved music, and but he could really only come in, with one word here and there. But he'd always come in the right spot. He'd wait, and then that word comes in, and he'd sing it right then. And we just realized that he was just, the simpler the better. So just went to my little studio and started writing songs that I thought sounded cool, but with really simple content. And we didn't really do it as for children. I mean, he was a child, of course, but I kind of wanted to do it where it was a person of any age could listen to it. It wasn't just little kiddie themes. So it's basically, the Rock Your Speech is, we are creating video and audio content for, other parents and teachers and music therapists. It's really for a tool for their kids and students on the autism spectrum. We, I guess you could describe it as combining rock music with the basic principles of speech therapy. And we always say it helps kids on the spectrum find their voice through music, because people in general are drawn to music. And you see how people react in nursing homes, and people have stroke, and all sorts of different things. It's not just autism, or people have people that use speech therapy, and music really just gets people's attention, and it brings memories back to people, and all this. It's so powerful. It's a healing force. All the music therapists know it. So we're just we're living with it anyway. And I love writing songs and working in the studio, and it's just something it's really close to us, and I really enjoy it. And I think ultimately it will help parents be able to help their kids with speech therapy, something they can enjoy listening to. They have an app on an iPad, and all the kids are drawn to that sort of stuff anyway. So that's what we're doing.
Yeah, that's important work right there. I seem to remember, maybe it's popular myth or maybe it's real, but it seemed like I remember someone back quite a while ago, maybe I read it somewhere, about speech therapists using the Beatles and folks with autism really connecting with that, which makes sense because especially their earlier stuff was, sort of simplistic and catchy and bouncy, and I can kind of see if that makes sense with what you're saying.
It makes perfect sense, because there's stuff they were a really good example. It's like, help, I need somebody, help, not just anybody. It is kind of like that, except even more simple. We've got a song called "Help Me, I'm Hurting." Help me, I'm hurting. Help me, because we wanted to have phrases that Liam couldn't. He couldn't tell you if he was sick, if he was cold, if he was hungry. if you can't speak, you're obviously not communicating too well.
Right.
So it's like a big game of charades. It's like, let's put phrases in there that we would like him to use that are common phrases, but in a musical way, and that's what it is. And the Beatles were a good example of that. I want to hold your hand is a good. She loves you, that kind of thing. Of course they expand upon it much more, but they even did that one song. I think it's on Yellow Submarine. 1, 2, 3,
right.
4.
Yeah.
Can I have a little more? That's like a bit of a kid song. It's a scary nursery rhyme sort of, but it is that. It's like that Beatles thing, but really more simplified. And then try to add in, and it's something too. We wanted to do it where music therapists could come in with an acoustic guitar and just play that song. So we've got a song book that goes along with all the records we've got out now, and it's got lyrics and song and the charts, and it's stuff that you should be able to. All the music therapists say to us like, yeah, we know this is it's so powerful, except there's no decent music. It's all the wheels on the bus go round and round, and Jimmy crack corn and whatever. It's like, okay, always you got to. It's one thing if you're a little kid, but what do teenagers and adults do? They're gonna sit around. There's it just seemed that there was something missing, and there is really nothing like this. So,
and I know you're going to be a part of a big concert. I think that's yet to be announced though, so we won't get into.
Oh, it's been announced.
It has now. Okay.
It's December 2nd at the Orpheum Theater in downtown Los Angeles. So Saturday the 2nd. It's a benefit for the Autism Society of America with Rock Your Speech, which is our organization. But Cheap Trick is headlining, and we've got the Dandy Warhols doing a set. A band called the Empty Hearts, which is Clem from Blondie and Elliot from the Cars, and Wally from the Romantics, my friend Andy Babuick from Chesterfield Kings. It's got a bit of a super group, and Johnette Napolitano from Concrete Blonde is doing it. She's going to be in our house band.
That's so
and
cool.
Red Cross is playing.
Oh, what a lineup.
Terry Nunn and Ed Asner is speaking. Ed Asner, actually, his son is one of the main people at the Autism Society, and Ed is just deep into the autism. He's I think he's got like 5 grandchildren on the spectrum. I mean, I know that Matt, his son, has like 3 kids on the spectrum.
Yeah.
So they are, really, very involved in that whole scene. And he's an interesting guy, Ed Asner. He's really funny. We've met him now a couple of times. And Billy Bob Thornton is going to be there. And we've asked, just a bunch of our different friends that are in or around Los Angeles or wherever to come in, and we'll just, see what happens.
Mm-hmm. Well, it sounds like a hell of a night anyway. I know a lot of those folks and love a lot of those artists too. So, good on you guys for putting together that and break a leg with the show. And
thank you.
And thanks for the Christmas album too. I at least want to throw that out there. The whole record's so fun, so we're looking forward to spinning
even if
all
I
of
do
it.
say so myself.
Right. All right, buddy. Tom, it was really great. Thank you so much for the talk and the music and everything. And hopefully we'll see you back around Louisville sooner than later.
All right, good deal. Thanks.
All right, man. Take care.
Bye.
Bye.